Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Hey, I'm Smitty, and welcome to another edition of Champions Perspective, Season 3, Episode 3. With me, as always, is Tim. Timmy, how you doing, buddy?
Living the dream, bud. Always great to be here. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing great, buddy. Heard you woke up on Monday thinking you may have lost and pulled one out.
100%. Went to bed seeing he had like two receivers, and I had a tight end who wasn't really doing anything the whole first half. I just put it in the L column, thought I was going to start 0-2 and going to have to make some decisions. I wake up in the morning, and I pulled out a sneaky one against Puffers, so I'll take it.
You know, those wins always feel the best.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, Timmy, let's jump right into Week 2 results here. I'm going to start with myself versus brother Bill. It was a close game until Sunday night, about 11:30, I know, because I was watching this fucker. And it was 4th and 3, bubble screen to Julio Jones, who then runs for 55 yards and put the nail in the coffin. It felt pretty good. Felt bad I had to stay up that late, but it was a lot easier to go to sleep after that.
Yeah, I bet.
Let's see, Matt Ryan puts up 30 for me. Julio puts up another 30, and Eckler just under 20. You throw in a couple numbers here and there and pull it off. Prescott was impressive again, 35 points.
It's a good job by Bill there, picking him up.
Yep. He had 2 guys scoring under 1 point and 5 guys scoring under 10. And, that'll give you an L every time.
That's rough.
Moving on here, we got Ben versus Mac. This is what I call shit show of the week. Puts up 2. Mac gets the win. Mac's team is Larry Fitz puts up 12. AP puts up 10. Otherwise, just garbage on that.
Yeah.
Benny had Peyton Barber going, gets 15. I charked my pants, got another touchdown, and D. Hopkins got 4.
That's brutal.
All added up, you get 66 points.
Don't worry, he's playing me this week. He'll probably get back to his 130-point week or whatever. He's either lightning in a bottle or he's ice cold, that Ben Scholes, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I think you're about due for a name change because your team's fucking hot garbage.
Yeah, your team's rough.
Moving on, we got Davis versus Ron. Ron pulls this one off. I tell you, I was keeping an eye on this game. It was close before the Monday night game. Biggest news out of this game is that Breeze gets hurt. He's out for roughly 6 weeks or so. That's never good for anybody.
No.
Except for me and you. Suck it, Davis. Let's see. So Zeke went for 20 on Ron's team, 13 for Brandon Cooks, 10 for Hilton, and 10 for David Montgomery, which we've been hearing a lot about him, in the preseason.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to pop off, but it is what it is. Last year, everybody thought it was going to be Jordan Howard, and I don't know if it's a coach thing, but I think Montgomery's a talented guy. I just don't know when they're going to give him the whole lion's share. Yeah. Hopefully, for Ron's sake, it's soon, but we'll see.
I think this is the second week Ron started him, so paid off this week.
Yeah.
Moving over to Davis' team, Breeze showed up with minus 0.5 points, getting that ligament damage in his thumb. Cooper Kupp had 15, and not much else going on that team. Moving up, Tim, we got yourself versus Puff. Like we had mentioned at the beginning of this episode, the game was very close. Yeah. Zach Ertz, I think, highlights your win with 16 targets, 8 receptions.
That's always good. Lamar Jackson had another good day.
Yeah, he had 35 points or so. Connor with 10.
Yeah.
Possible injury. I think we talked maybe a contusion in his leg.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay because we'll see.
And you had a couple guys with 14 points. That's always a nice turnout.
Yeah, week 1 I was just struggling with touchdowns in general. Lamar Jackson was the only one doing anything. This week I got some touchdowns out of my running backs, so and some yardage out of my receivers. Hopefully this week all three levels can put it together.
Yeah, I think that's what we're all waiting for is all cylinders to be firing for all our teams,
Yeah.
Let's see, back to Puffer's team. Goff had 18, Gurley had 13. The train it's speeding up from what last week he had, which wasn't much. Dalvin Cook, living up to 30 some points, and
That made
Calvin
me
Ridley
sick to
with
my
about
stomach.
19.
I was watching the scoreboard, and it's like I get an alert: Dalvin Cook, 75-yard touchdown screen pass or whatever. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yep.
It's like an 18-point play. You're like,
The real winner here for you, Tony, was Alshon Jeffrey. Comes up
yeah.
in first quarter, puts up a fat 0 for Puff.
That was you never like to see somebody get hurt, but I'll take it.
Yep. Next up, we got Nick versus Pete. Both these guys are in my division. This was also a somewhat close game. So about 15 points from Nick Chubb on Monday night solidified the win for Nick. Mahomes puts up over 40. Godwin showed up this week. Galladay showed up this week, putting up around 20 points. And John Ross puts up another 25. That was a nice pickup. Nice $17 fab auction.
Hey, man.
Waiver wire.
Put a W in the column for him, so now he's 1-1.
That is true. Not the pickup of the week. Pete picks up Derek Carr, sits Aaron Rodgers, loses 16 points. Carr scores under 9. Saquon scores over 20, and 3 guys put up 12 points for his team, and Breida put up 15. So I did the math. Tim, man, he lost. If he would have had Aaron Rodgers, and he still would have lost by like 5 points, something like that. He didn't have anybody else on his bench that would have won the game. But a little bit closer there.
Yep.
Last game of this week that we just had, Cole versus Scully. This was a close game until Monday night, and OBJ showed up with 30 points on a 9-yard skinny. Cole got mediocre returns from most of his team, but 37 points from the New England defense, 20 points from Kelsey, and 30 points from OBJ. And that's the win.
That'll do it.
Looking over at Scully's team, just in the back of your head, Timmy, just like let's think Antonio Brown's still on his team, but Tom Brady, puts up 26.
Yeah.
15 from Derrick Henry, 15 from Vance McDonald, and 13 from Justin Tucker. But that TB to AB would have been a nice feature.
Yeah, but you didn't know what was going to happen, So at least I forget who he traded for.
Thielen.
Thielen's a decent receiver. What did Thielen put up?
Had not enough to make my board. So
I gotcha.
Probably under 10.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We'll see. But what can you do with the unknown? Man, 37 out of your defense or whatever, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing like seeing that on the old scoreboard. You're like, we've all lost to a defense that went crazy, and you're just like, WTF, man, what am I supposed to do about that? I don't even get 37 points out of my quarterback, and he's getting it out of a D.
And I believe New England's got the Jets coming up this week, so that could be another 30.
Yeah. New England's D's tough. I know they've been playing a bunch of schlubs, but they're capitalizing for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, with that, let's bring on our special guest.
Sounds good.
All right. Without further ado, here's our 2018 champ, Nick Holbrook. Nick, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's an honor being here as the champion, reigning champ. Good to be with you, boys.
Great to have you.
Yeah, good to have you.
Thanks for coming. Good win last week. That was exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had put up, I think it was 127 points going into Monday night, and Pete had Cleveland's defense, and I had Chubb, and Pete wouldn't let it lay. That the defense did pretty good, and he was clawing back there, and then as soon as they hit that field goal, it was pretty much over. But Pete put up some points.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not gonna lie, Nick. I was putting together notes of the week last night, and I saw that you guys, the Browns were just starting. Seeing how close your guys' game was, and I'm typing it in. I'm like, I don't know if I can figure out who's gonna win this or not. Chubb's not doing anything yet, and just as I'm starting to do that, Chubb broke for that touchdown, and I said, what, I'm gonna write this thing tomorrow.
Right. It was. I really wasn't scared at all, and I thought they would score at least a point just to bring them back down from the 10 automatic points. But finally, Chubb got going there. Obviously, I think we all agree they should have used him more, especially in the fourth quarter. But
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think
Agree.
they're learning, especially when Mayfield took that sack with less than 2 minutes to go. So
Yeah. Hopefully they learned. I feel they were kind of just almost practicing at the end there to try to get everybody in cohesion a little more, but they got to start using Chubb more. You're right.
yeah, I mean, he still came away with over 12 points, I think. So I mean, I got to be happy with that. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, put you in a win column after, getting a loss from, me last week. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's nice to see you back in, 500 anyway.
Well, I don't think you'll be at the top of the division for long.
Mm.
I put up 117 points. I was just thinking, if we add it all up, we should do this like at a halfway point, maybe at the end of the season. What is the average points per game that wins a game? What do you guys? Do you guys think it's over 115 or under 115?
I think we did something like this, and before we added that third wide receiver, I think it was something around like 105 points would guarantee you a win. You remember doing something like that, Tommy?
I do, but I think it's a good idea. We should look into it about halfway point and just see where it's at, and then maybe redo it again at the end of the year or something. Since we did add that extra receiver, so.
Well, if you're playing Ben's team, you only need 67 points.
Depends. The week before, he scored like 140. You're like, what the hell?
Because when I'm around 117, Smith, and I know our game was close, but I think that should be like win territory.
Well, I agree.
Several scorers so far this season, you're not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close in what?
With 117, you wouldn't even be close with several of the point getters in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. With that, Timmy, let's move into this week's picks.
That's right. All right, boys. So like I said at the end of last week, I needed to go at least 5-1 to get to 500. That's what I did, 5-1. So that brings the grand total. I know everybody wants to see how bad I suck at this, but I'm at 500. I'm 6-6 going into this week.
What did you end up last year, Timmy?
I didn't really keep track of it last year, so I'm trying to do a better job this year. I just picked them and went on with my day from there. So I'm keeping a running tally this year because people ask that question quite a bit. Like, how'd you do last year? I'm like, I honestly don't know. So
I tell you what, he picked himself to be undefeated last year. I can tell you that.
Well, the year before, I picked myself to lose one game, and I took hell for that. So I'm like, I'll never do that again. So. All right. So we'll go off my screen here, Smith, or did you want to read them out?
No, go. I don't think I have the same. Yeah, go off your screen.
All right. So I have me versus Ben. So I'm going to take me. Lamar Jackson's playing quite well. So like I said, if I could get a couple more touchdowns, if I could keep the touchdowns my running backs are getting, hopefully Connor stays healthy, and then maybe add a touchdown in my receiving group, I should hopefully pull out a W here unless Ben's team goes bananas again, but we'll see. I'm picking me for the W there.
Do you think Lamar Jackson playing a good team helps or hurts him? As far as they're probably going to put up a lot of points, so he's going to have to put up a lot of points.
Are they playing a good team this week? I thought they were still playing. Who are they playing?
I thought that
they're playing KC.
Yeah. So their defense is terrible. Casey's defense is terrible, and it's going to be a shootout. So I think that helps him all the way around. So yeah, I'm excited for that. That should be good, hopefully. Next up, we have Pete versus Smitty. I took Smitty on this one. Austin Eckler has been a steal for him. Matt Ryan does Matt Ryan things. 6 points through the first half, and then all of a sudden he ends up with 20 to 30 points. And you're like, well, I'll take it. Julio Jones is Julio, but I think Smitty's team's just a little bit stronger, and Pete's still trying to figure out his lineup a little bit. So
yeah, if he starts Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers again, I'll be pumped about that.
There you go. Maybe he'll start somebody over Saquon Barkley. Next up, we have Puffer versus Mac. I picked Puffer's team. Was Mac's team the one? He had Roethlisberger and all that, right? And he's got dealing with a couple injuries. He's got Michael Thomas, who Drew Brees is out. It's a tough road to hoe. And some of those Rams that Pupper has are picking up steam. And if Delvin Cook keeps going, that's always going to be tough. Next up, we have what's up?
Who did you pick there?
I picked Puffer over Mac. Then I have Al and Cole. No, sorry, Al and David. Sorry, not Thielen. It is Cole. Sorry. So here we go. From the top, Davis versus Cole. I'm taking Cole. Cole's just got a solid team. Davis's team's pretty banged up, and that sucks.
Yeah, well, we'll have to keep an eye on if Davis starts Kirk Cousins, who's sitting on his bench, if he goes out on waiver here and picks somebody up.
Yeah. Hopefully Kirky can keep it together. He throws for like 4,000, 5,000 yards a season, so he's due to start slinging the rock around. But we'll see. They've just been grounding and pounding, so it will be interesting to see what Davis does. Next up, we have Bill versus Nick. I picked Nick to win this one. Mahomes and Prescott are two of the best quarterbacks going, so that'll always be fun to see those two square off. But then I like the Nick Chubb, Chris Carson combo over what Bill has, so I went with Nick.
Where do you think real life scoring, the first week or the second week?
He did all right in the second week, didn't he? What did he score in the second week?
I thought he only had like 88, something like that.
Oh, probably somewhere in between. I'd put him at around 100 to 105 points a week.
I mean, Dak's going against Miami. I mean, he should get another 4 touchdowns, but he's doing that against anybody. He's got Prescott and he's got the Cooper. Yeah, looking at the matchups, he's got some pretty easy matchups.
Yep.
I don't like that.
Speaking of Nick, you got O.J. Howard. He's struggling these past few weeks.
I know. Part of me really wants to leave him in there because he was projected to do well this year. They say he's one of the most underwhelming fantasy picks of this year. But I got San Francisco's tight end on my bench, and then do I go?
Oh, you got Atlanta's. You got the Hoopa.
Atlanta's. Yeah, sorry. You got Kittle. I'm sorry.
Well, I learned that from watching you, Nick.
Or do I go get the Cowboys tight end who scored a touchdown every week, but I feel like that's not sustainable. So I'm kind of torn there on what to do. But obviously putting up zeros isn't helping me out of the tight end.
He's playing New York, too, and New York's defense the Giants are pretty bad.
Yeah, if there's a game for him to bounce back. That's the other reason
I picked you is because you had a couple of Tampa guys going, and I'm like, the Giants' defense isn't good. And then as long as John Ross keeps going for you, you should be all right.
That was my next question. Did any of you guys, I know we can't ask everybody, but did any of you guys bid on John Ross last week? I'm wondering how my 17 played out. Was it an overbid or did I outbid?
I bid on him. Actually, I didn't bid on him. John Ross.
I did not bid on him either. I was looking at Malcolm Brown first.
Yeah. Because I bet 17 on him. I got him, and then he scored over 20 points. So I think that's a pretty good pickup so far.
It really was. Like, when you first got him, I was like, complete overpay. I'm like, geez, $17 out of the rip? But, it brought him a W.
I was also weak at the receiving core. So
hey, if you spend the money and it pays off, it's good. It's better to do it and have it like if you spend $17 on him and he got 3 points, we'd all be laughing. But it paid off, man. So no one can say shit about how much you spent on him because it brought in a W. So
right.
I'd spend $17 a week until it was gone for a W.
That's true.
That gives you what? So about 6 wins, and then you're good to go.
Right.
So then the next up I have Meister versus Scully. I picked Scully to win this one. Baker's got a tough matchup. Scully's got, Brady. I think McCaffrey's going to get back to it. Edelman's playing the Jets. Like, I just like a lot of Scully's matchups a bit better. Scully's got a great receiving core, so we'll see. It'll be interesting. Plus, he's got Zeke. But overall, I think Scully's going to take that one down.
All right, then we'll make sure you log that so we, know where we can hit you up for being right or being wrong.
That's right.
Who had Breeze?
Davis.
Davis.
Do you think there's going to be a little? Who's the number one quarterback on the waiver wire?
I think it's Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen or
Maybe Garofalo.
yeah, Jimmy G. I think those are the top two. Andy Dalton's still roaming around out there probably.
No, he's on somebody's bench.
Is he? Somebody picked up the Red Rocket?
Yeah, I think I
And the
made
49ers, they're playing good, but Garoppolo's not scoring.
Yeah. They're
I know he needs to throw it to Kittle more. I don't know. Touchdowns called back that first week,
yeah. Yeah, you still got a W.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have any stats, Smitty, on how everybody was talking about if the Browns go 0-2, their playoff chances drop to under 10%? Anything like that in our league? Anybody who's 0-2, what are their chances so far?
Well, I do have something like that because ESPN has started something recently that they call final standing projections. Okay, have you guys seen this yet?
I did look at it, yeah.
Timmy, have you seen that?
No, where is it?
So it's in where you can see roster matchup players in league, sort of scoreboard standings, final standing projections, and recent activity, all that.
Yeah.
So basically, what it's saying is people who are trending up right now is Cole, yourself, and me. Trending down is Ben, Davis, and your brother. So basically, what they say is on draft day they rank you at a certain number, and as of right now, but because of your win or losses, they're going to rank you at that. So Nick, for instance, the hell is the name of your team?
I was started 7th, and now I'm 5th.
Yep. So he started. So after his draft, ESPN had ranked him at number 7 overall. After his 500 start here, they moved him up to 5. So number 1 overall was brother Bill, who has now dropped down 2 spots to 3.
Okay.
Scully had drafted. They ranked his draft at number 2 and moved him up to number 1. So this thing isn't exactly right. That's crazy talk. But
I think that's why he brought it up. He's like, who's number 1? Oh, that's right. It's me.
They had me drafting at 9. I've moved up to 6. Timmy, looking for the yellow shirt fucker.
You've moved up a lot, Tim.
Yeah, you moved up. This thing. Oh, there it is. You went from 12 drafting up to 8.
Look at that.
That's a good spot. So you moved 4 spots. Cole's moved 6. I moved 3 up. And yeah. I mean, when we look at the standings overall, it's like, well, Pete's team, geez, if he gets a win, I'll be surprised. Puffer, I don't know. He's waiting. He probably won't make any moves again like he did last year. And Davis, now that he had that Breeze get taken away from him, I think him and Pete will be fighting for that toilet again.
I'm just trying to stack some wins here. Get 2 in a row. I always seem to go like win, loss all season, and it's like, I just like to stack a couple in a row, and but
I agree. Usually there's a 2 to 3 game skid in my season.
Yes.
Nice to get a couple built up there.
Right. It's always good to get a few under the belt, and then the past couple seasons I haven't. It's been like win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, and it's just it's like ugh.
Yeah, I tell you what, injuries have been pretty significant this year already for big people. Tyreek, Big Ben, Breeze,
Cam.
Oh, Cammy, yeah.
Yeah.
Possible James Conner, and Njoku. Not that he's a big tight end, but he's a starter for Davis who could be in concussion protocol.
Yeah. But yeah, even like it's just brutal. It's nuts. The receiver for Dallas, Amari Cooper, he's got that plantar fasciitis he's gonna have to deal with. The arthritis in Gurley's knees, like it's crazy. The injuries this year that you got to kind of think about and try to play around, and it's like guessing. You're like, oh boy. But
guys who've are these guys who have lost players throwing trades out? Because I haven't seen any. Have you guys seen any trade talk?
None that I haven't initiated. Well, some couple people reach out with junk, and you're like, nah, delete, cancel. But
Smitty, I haven't gotten one from you yet. What's going on?
I find it tough to trade interdivision, until we get through the first 3 division games. We get that set of 4 or 5 against, the rest of the division. I'll reach out to you for sure, or anybody else in our division. And, just so it's not going to affect me in the next couple games. I've got 5 games to go before I have to see you again. It's about how I play that game. Whereas Cole will trade to me, the week before they play each other, and somebody goes off on somebody.
yeah.
Right.
Well, all right, guys. Nick, hey, man, I want to thank you for your time. It's great to have another champ show up on a champion's perspective, buddy. And that's you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here, and you guys do a great job, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Always a pleasure, Nick.
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
fellas.
Nice win last year.
Good
Thank
win.
you.
Beating Ron is always good.